What's up, guys? Mikey in the building. Hey, I hope you guys had a great day today. Um, CCC was an absolute blessing. I was just explaining to my room a couple things like, my best days are when I can catch a long that gives an extension and then go ahead and catch a short that nearly just either gives it back or I can get a nice percent return on that one. Um, Before I break this one down, I do want to mention that I was late to the party on these five ads, right? That's okay. I tried this NRSN move, didn't work. I tried HRYU again. This one didn't work. Real quick, I tried to see if this was going to have some continuation on the daily for this one. I tried it down here. I had a stop out. I moved my stop out on this one, so small green, and then I tried it again down here. I think Lumber tried it too. That was pretty cool, and it just didn't work. All right, things are not going to work. So as it started to pull back, I just stopped out again, and I didn't want the trade to go against me like NR or NRSN did. So I made sure I stopped out of that one and just got small green out of that, kind of chipped away some of that lost. Um, FRGT, real quick, was a phenomenal pre-market play. Okay, this had such beautiful structure. Um, Multiple times when this was setting up pre-market, there was no big seller or any type of structure on this one. Really, that's why it wasn't working. Okay. There wasn't really a big seller on this one. There wasn't really like, hey, a dump candle or an exit, anything like that on this one. So, it's very important to recognize that, right? And again, uh, real quick, structure-wise, super important. You know, structure's so important. There wasn't really any breakdown of this, right? There was no true breakdown. There's not any big volume candles that are saying, hey, there's a big exit. You know, there's not only is there a breakdown, but then it tries to reclaim, and then it stuffs again on heavier volume. So then you got multiple structures of exiting volume, or heavy selling, or people dumping into that. So this one is a really great structure right here, pre-market. Um, Phenomenal play on the book. There's multiple legs, okay? Multiple opportunities. There's multiple legs. This is a nice leg, consolidates, puts in a leg, consolidates, puts in a leg, consolidates, and then takes off for that dollar. I know a lot of shorts probably try to short this thing up because it's the dollar, but then they got to go for a ride, stop out, and get caught in that kind of stuff. So uh, be mindful, right? Be weary of where you're trading, why you're trading it, right? Mark out some zones on this one. I want to cover one thing real quick too on this one. Um, this ended up setting up a 5-minute flag, a backside 5-minute flag, and boy oh boy, I used to trade these all the time, and this is where I used to take the most of my hits at. Um, you know, not fully being aware and recognize like, hey, this might look good, you know, especially, real quick. This might look good, setting up right here, setting up a 5-minute flag right here, right? Nice VPA pops up, stair step down, okay, cool. But the thing was up 330%. All right, so if you look left right here where I have my cross here, this 5-minute flag is setting up this high against highs. So it's like I used to think like, come on, let's just go. We can get more out of it. Squeeze. Well, is it going to be one of those like, abnormal, once in a lifetime ones that pop up 2, 3 times a year, maybe max? No. All right. These are very trappy patterns. You got to be really careful. On the book, all this thing would do is just keep initiating, and you could see, big orders go through, no follow through. Pulls back, tries, pulls back, tries. There's no real true support on this one. And then it came down, halted. And then as you can see on this one, we're at 56 cents from the top of this one. So that was a great short. Uh, but also a very great long in the morning from 70700 all the way up until the bell pretty much rang, open market came. So you got to be careful, right? If you miss this long and then you try to long it because you missed the move, and you just got to be careful. All right, understand the structure, understand where you're trading, and more importantly, like really pay attention to how high are we on the daily, how much volume is coming through, and then there's no more follow through, right? Open market volume, very important. Okay, CCC, this one was a beautiful one. I was just fully amazed with this one. Um, you know, this is a day two continuation play, but here's the thing, right? CCC had an open ATM and they had 200 million on this one. Okay, so super important to see that, right? All right, the remaining they opened it, so they didn't even sell any off. So I'm really curious to see how this updates in a few days. So you've really got to know that, right? Okay, I went long CCC at 613, 614. I started soaking and taking a position into that. I took it because of this setup on the book. Okay, not only just this setup on the book, but a previous area of interest pulls back, and the selling gets absorbed, and then a buyer comes in and takes down this offer right here. Okay, so someone comes in and sweeps this, and then this is where it pulls back, consolidates, and this is where I took shares and started to take some size into this one, or just a position. Don't worry about size. It doesn't matter. I took my position over here, and then more importantly, really got to know where we're setting up on the daily. Okay. So again, marking out your zones, being prepped, being ready is very important. Okay, to me. All right, and then having confluence with the daily is going to make a really big difference. Okay. Um, Not only did we do a nice little stuff candle right here, but we consolidated above this consolidation supply zone on the daily. So this tried, and then finally failed, tried again, and then failed, and went down and just went down to the Neverlands, right? Very important though, this consolidation right here. This is where this thing pulled back and started to hold. All right. Knowing where I was at in the daily and then trying to look for confluence on the book helped me take a position in there. After that, once this thing started to open up, I definitely wanted to see anywhere from 678 from 708. All right, that was the next zone that I was looking for. Looking left, I wanted to see it clear this ceiling. All right, I call this a ceiling until it kind of breaks over it and then become a base out and become a floor again. After that, there's this big pocket from 830s all the way to 945. I thought this was going to go to 10 bucks, but you can't really, you can wish for it, but it might not happen. But if we would have reclaimed these areas, it's another area too. So again, drawing my zones, I just want to really make sure that I have my crosshair. So if I draw a zone, I'm also looking left and seeing where we're at, and then kind of, okay, this one kind of makes sense. Or if I'm drawing a zone for me, right? Everyone does them different. If I'm drawing a zone out, I just want to make sure I look left and I'm kind of covering up little areas. I don't want to just keep doing zone after zone and then have this big red chart. So this was the next floor. Pretty much I had to get covered. So I made sure I just covered the whole entire area and then all the way down to this wick right here. Okay. And as you can see, this thing goes parabolic. Really just like pretty much to the T, almost taps that zone right there, and then does not follow through. So that was the reason why I took this long. There's a lot of empty space up there. You can see that they're using some bigger walls or offers to control price, and they pulled it, and then price action started to continue. Looking over right here too, that was that zone area that I was just talking about, anywhere between 678 and 708. So we went to go absorb this offer, remove the liquidity on the book right here, does a slight low volume pullback into a previous area of interest. Okay, pretty much almost really close, but almost a pivot tap right here on the book, and then we go ahead and shoot for new highs. Okay, this thing was really nice. Okay, this is where I started seeing some action on here that just was like, okay, where we're at in the daily, first of all. All right, so I know where we're now. We're starting to exceed, extend, and now we're starting to trade into the next level of that daily, where there it had a whole bunch of times where it had a hard time breaking out of that, and then finally started to break down. Okay, then I started seeing some offers, or sorry, excuse me, some bids, some spoof bids right here and right here start to pull. Okay, shout out to JRET because this was a beautiful 1 minute flag setup right up against highs. And when a move pulls, so quick, right back down, consolidates, and then swipes up really quick, and then stalls, that was a big sign. Okay, I'm gonna zoom into this and kind of show you what was my thought process on the book. Someone reached out to me and was like, "Hey, can you break this down a little bit more? Would you see, that made you take that trade?" So the book, right? It's a phenomenal tool in the sense because you get to see how they push and pull the liquidity all over the chart. Okay, remember candlesticks, guys, is just showing you candlesticks. They're a big lagging indicator. This is what's happening behind the scenes. So if you take the heat map and you take it off and you throw up some candles, this is what you're seeing. And then you're so focused on level two. If you blink, if you cough, if you look down, if you look up, you miss things, right? With this, you don't really have to miss. You don't miss anything. All right, so when there's certain type of traps that I start to see and things like this that really stand out to me, where I see they're controlling price action, but they pull this offer, right? They pull this offer, and there's a couple things that I think that happen in situations like this is that they have this offer, they pull it, so they make it look like it's heavy, and then as it starts to push back up, a buyer comes in and it looks like it's going to squeeze, and then there is zero follow through. So to me, 16,000 shares got absorbed right here. Another 30,000 shares got absorbed right here, and there was just no more follow through. All right, I really think this is like some trappy action, especially on the book. So, it's just this over and over and over again of staring at the book, watching it live time, seeing how they're, auctioning the price, right? How are they trying to trap longs? How are they trying to trap shorts? And then building experience and data and things like that off that. So this is the reason why I took this short. I did a little J-Road special right here. I did catch a 787 short on this. I was so grateful that TOS had shares. Please think or swim. Have more shares for everybody. So that was really nice on that one. You know, again, this is what it looks like on your little candlestick chart. Why not, right? Just in case people don't have the book, right? So this consolidated and it swiped up really, really quick. This was a pretty quick swipe, and then it started to pull back on low volume right here. But more importantly, when it tried to go right here, it stalled. As soon as I saw that and I saw no space on the book right here, that's when I took the short. You know, it was like almost a little slow getting filled on this one, but TOS finally filled me, gave me my shares, and then see there's no space on this one down here, zero support, and all this thing did was dump straight down to the front runner they had right here at 740s, bounced off it, consolidated, and then they finally sold into it and removed the liquidity on the book, bounced up, consolidated, and all this thing did, this is where all right, so this is another great thing, right, to go over. This is where I see the book kind of flip and change. Now there's more offers coming down, right? And whether these are spoofs, right? Yeah, because they're not staying on the book. There's not a real seller saying, hey, you know, or fill me right here, or they're willing to short right here. This is things being, you know, put on the book and then pulled, put on the book and pulled. So this helps to me by watching this over and over again. It helps offset the book, helps kind of the algo, in my opinion, kind of go down and retest any offers that are down below. I mean, sorry, bids that are down below, right? And then we're starting to see some controlled, tight price action right here. You know, I actually do call these the hot dogs. How my buddy said a hot dog and he laughed, but I mean, you know, what better way to trap some longs is by to throw a bid up right here and then an offer right here to control price action and then eventually just have it just dump. Okay. Um, you know, again, you're going to see this over and over on this. And yes, it had a couple bounces. Okay. You know, it did have a couple bounces. This was a nice absorption down here. Um, this was to me 740, 750s was an important area to reclaim. Let me zoom out. You know, this consolidation area too right here was an important area for me to see it reclaim. And that did not happen. And then eventually it started to put in some more lower highs. Okay, so yeah, it pulled back. But again, the book started to completely change. The offers that started to come in on this was a lot different than the run that it had in the very beginning. All right, especially when things pull back. When things pull back and you start to see more offers coming in, to me, I see a big change of characteristics on the book and how they are auctioning the price. All right. Not to mention again that these guys had a huge ATM to start dipping into. Okay. Um, you know, watching the book again and just deep diving into it, and this is all I look at. You know, I won't take trades unless I have things up. I'm prepped. I'm ready to go. I'm feeling confident and I'm ready to execute. If that doesn't happen, I just step away. You know, I think, you know, mental toughness and mental health and mental focus is so important when you're trading, right? You know, take a couple losses. Took a loss on this. Had a break even on this. Um, missed a little bit ads on FRG early. Caught a nice 70 move. Rode it up past $1. Cool. You know, but then after that, it's time to reground, refocus, and then look for more opportunities. If you guys ever run into those guys or girls who are just like, oh, the market is no good, there's no opportunity, you guys need to run far away from those type of people. There is so much opportunity in the market going long or going short. You just have to be uh, uh, disciplined. You got to be focused. You got to block out all the noise. You can't care what other people are doing, how they're trading, what their charts look like, all that kind of crazy stuff. Every day you come here and you try to show yourself that you can execute, that you can become the trader that you want to become, and then you run with it. All right, and then you never look back. All right, focus, stay disciplined, stay sharp. Okay, so this was a phenomenal trade. You know, here's my covers. I did take some at 640 because, well, you know, I got $1 per share on that one. And I was like, okay, this is really great. And then I ended up getting $2 per share. And then I was able to cover some or the rest of my shares into the low $5. I did not catch any of those $5 cracks towards the end. I was just like, well, is it really going to break yet or is it going to trade sideways? So this was a really great trade. When I was looking at this and then I started to see that they had an ATM on this, these were big price targets for me. All right. Major price targets for me. I wanted to see if this was going to stay heavy and just would not go off any more initiations. Then can we tap into these bids that are sitting on here that they had sit on here for a long time? And wow, was I just super thrilled, super happy. Um, Great trade up and a great trade on the way back down. All right, guys. Those are the reasons why I took the trades. Those are some prints. Much love. Peace out, Mikey.